Toying Around Toys here. Today we're taking a look at G.I. Joe Classified Mole Rat. And say what you will about Hasbro's windowless packaging. I don't know, when I go to the store and I buy a figure, I really want to know if he's already started decomposing and is a zombie inside. Then you could avoid things like attacking whoever's trying to open them. So, glad they're bringing the windows back. I think it's just safer for humanity. So we'll put our Alley Viper over here. He probably doesn't want to be standing next to the Mole Rat after what just went down. So we'll put him off to the side and let's focus on the man of the hour, the person who needs a little bit of makeup work. And let's see, the box, pretty awesome. There's a lot going on in the box. He comes with, I think, more accessories than I've ever seen in a standard figure from G.I. Joe Classified. So we're going to have a fun time putting all those together. And he comes with looks like a mask. So maybe if he wants to cover up, if he doesn't have the time or the makeup, he'll just throw on a mask and he's good to go. All right, so we've got our cool little art piece in the box, nice black and white view, and then his box. All his goodies are jam-packed in here. With all the goodies that he comes with, I'm actually not sure how they would have gotten away with this had they done a window packaging on him, because finding a spot for them all versus throwing all the little things in a bag, it's going to be interesting to see how that actually changes the way that they display some of these figures. I guess we will find out and see. All right, first up, so his mask is not a mask that you put on, it's actually a complete new head swap, which G.I. Joe Classified, I can't remember too many other figures that actually come with an interchangeable head, which is kind of cool, very unique for him. So then we go back and forth. The mask does limit mobility on his neck as far as going up and down. The mask gets in the way. It's a little bit wobbly too as far as head swap go. You can't really tell by looking at it, but trust me, it's a little bit wobbly on there. It doesn't fit on the ball quite so nicely. His joints are incredibly stiff. It looks like, since he does look like he's suffering some sort of recent death, it looks like his joints have started to atrophy a little bit, so we just gotta work them in. There's a lot of science at play here. Speaking of which, this is actually one of the few G.I. Joe characters that actually has that fantasy aspect to it. Usually for the fantasy suspending belief, usually it's why do you have a guy who's wearing no shirt fighting alongside a guy who's dressed for the polar caps, but for him, he's got a little bit more going on. All right, so let's take a look as he lounges back there at some of the accessories. Looks like he's got a lantern. There's a very dim glow in there, not going to give off too much light with the paint, but actually it does look like it could also double as a Star Wars droid, so he can be moving around. So I kind of like that guy. And then we've got his backpack. G.I. Joe characters have to have their backpacks. And it looks like it has a hose that will attach to his head. And it looks like a spot on the bottom that you can put one of his guns or accessories and just kind of clip on. So it's a little bit thinner than usual for one of the G.I. Joe classified backpacks, which is kind of a unique design. And now we have a cool little gun. Looks like it is short. It looks like it's got a spot for something to attach to it, like this guy right here. And we've got a Ghostbusters trap. So also expanding on the fantasy aspect. In case there's any ghosts around and you don't have a phone to call the Ghostbusters, you can just do the trapping yourself, which is, resourceful. And then looks like he comes with more hose, you know. And, ooh, what's in here? We'll just slice that open. You know the drill. And what do we got? Oh, look at that, the drill. Going through the accessories real quick, this has got to be my favorite one so far. Mole Rat he's good at what he does. He's a soldier. He's got a piece of crystal embedded in his brain. He's kind of a zombie, but he is also a fixer. He's got a drill. You got a loose shelf, call Mole Rat. He'll help you out. Anything you need to hang a picture, he's a handyman. So now that we've seen all the accessories, let's start putting them on and playing with it and see what we like. Still not sure where that little hose goes, but as we're going through, we'll see if we could spot probably a hole or a peg somewhere on him to see where it goes. So the backpack, we know where that goes. There's a hole on his back. There's a peg on the backpack. And I think you can tell the rest of that story. And then on the backpack, there's a hose that attaches to the side of his face. There's a little hole that we've identified there. It's a little bit trickier to get in than I was expecting when I already put the backpack on, so I'm going to try to do the reverse order and really get this one going. And I mentioned before that his neck mobility was a little bit limited with the mask on. Now that we have the hose on the side of his face, that removes the back and forth action. So I don't think I will actually be using the backpack. I'm not a huge fan of limiting his mobility. As he moves, it comes out. We'll just take a look at some of the other features of it. It's got the clip on the bottom. You could put the gun here, or probably the drill, or his extra hose. So, if you have some of his other accessories to put on there, maybe the Ghostbuster trap, and they pretty much all clip in because they all have that handle piece of it. And now let's take a look at the gun. They do look like they pull together. They've got little kind of modular guns you can mix and match. So that's actually, I really like that. This is a really cool weapon accessory, kind of interchangeable piece that they made. So it's in there pretty tight. And if you need to give yourself a little bit more room, just turn the drill around and drill it out a little bit, make the hole a little bit bigger. Good to go. So I think I'm going to display him with this gun. I really like that. The drill isn't really that intimidating if he's going to be shooting it at people. He's doing some sort of torturing or light carpentry, yes, but I like the gun look. So it's got the two hands, you can hold them both. The two handles in there, unless we want to put it in one hand and have him holding it up and put the Ghostbusters trap in the other, which would also look pretty intimidating. But I do like this, and there's that bonus hose again. And I'm not quite sure where it goes, so I'm just spinning him around, see where it goes. I didn't see any extra peg or hole on him. I'm sure it goes somewhere, so we will figure this one out, maybe on the backpack. Not seeing anything blatantly obvious, but I'm sure once I figure it out, I'll be kicking myself. Not on the Ghostbuster trap, not on his Star Wars droid. All right, it's got to be something little and something obvious. So it needs to be a hole and a peg for the hose to connect on both ends. I'm not really seeing it. I don't know. There's like a little hole in his mouth, but I'm not sure where the other piece would go. It wouldn't just hang there, otherwise he'd be like an elephant, which would be a pretty cool little. Then he wouldn't be the mole rat, he'd be the elephant rat, or the mole elephant. Melephant. Married to Maleficent. All right, I'm cheating. I'm looking at the box. All right, so it actually looks like it does actually hang on his mouth like that, and it looks like it connects to his chest. So I did not see the peg on there, but let's see if now that I know that is where it goes. I guess, yeah, there's a little peg there. It is not so obvious that that's where it goes, but I'm glad they actually put that on the box. So someone like me who's just completely oblivious was able to check it out. So there we go. It does not fit in too snugly. So, and if you start moving him around, he's going to do the same thing where it's going to disconnect, and then he's going to have that elephant look. So the elephant man is a great hire for Cobra. He'll work for peanuts. All right, we're going to take that off. As much fun it is to play with, I do not like the look of it. So his normal look with just the mask on there, or the unmasked look, I think that's the way to go. The hoses on the backpack and the front are awkward, so he's better without them in my opinion. Like the drill, like the lantern, like the gun, everything else about him. Great figure. Thanks for watching. Pick him up.